Hi, I'm Richard from Frozen Well. Welcome back to the 5th devlog for my game Ghost Blaster. It's been a couple of weeks since the last devlog, but I'm now back after holiday and taking a bit of time off from the development of Ghost Blaster. The first thing that I've been working on is a new mechanic for getting over the spike pits and the slime that I created previously. As I'm going to be reusing the various hazards that I create, I wanted to add as many different ways as possible to navigate them, so that the random generation of the levels has as many options as possible to create some truly unique levels each time you play the game. Here you can see the result of this work. There are now rotating platforms. I'm not 100% happy with the sprites for the platforms, but the overall mechanic is looking and working great. So, let's have a quick look at the code behind these rotating platforms. I've created them so they're flexible in their use. To create one of them, you create an instance of the centre hub sprite. This has 3 instance variables that are used to create the platforms. The first being the number of platforms you want to create. The second variable is used to decide how large a radius they will rotate on from the centre of the hub, and the third variable stores the speed they will rotate at. The sprite's dead orders are then all set so they are rendered in the correct order. Next up this week, I've been wanting to add some more effects to the player to add some character and make it look a little more alive. First off, I decided to create an effect for when the player character jumps. I've drawn a small animation that's created when the player jumps and is made to look like a little trail of dust. You can see this effect in action in this clip. Next, the logical thing after doing a jump effect was to do the same for when the player lands. So again, I've drawn an animation of a little cloud of dust that is created when the player character lands. You can see both effects now working together when the player jumps and then lands again. I'm really pleased with these and think it gives a lot more character to the player's movements. Next, another thing that I like to add to my characters is some dynamic squishiness when they jump and land. By this I mean that I like to stretch them when they start to jump and then squash them a bit when they land. I do this using Construct's tween behaviour. I stretch them or squash them and then tween back to the original size. I've now added this to the player character and all the effects are now working together to bring the character's jump and landings to life more. After the player update, I've gone back to creating more hazards for the game. I decided to make a swinging spiked ball that the player has to avoid. I initially made this using Construct Freeze orbit behaviour to rotate the spike ball, but found that when I changed the direction of the swinging motion, it was a very instant change in direction and therefore didn't look very natural. So, not being happy with this effect, I decided to have a go at using the sign behaviour, which, as you can see in the clip that's playing, gives a swinging spike ball a very natural looking swing and a smooth change of direction, which I'm a lot happier with. Let's have a quick review of the spike ball code. I added the 3 components of the spike ball to a container, and then when the spike ball hanger is created, I set the sign behaviour's values based on instance variables. Then every tick events are used to set the position of the spike ball and keep the chain connected between the ball and the hanger. The next hazard on the list to create was swinging blades. These can be seen in action in this clip. They're very similar in creation to the spike ball hazard. The only difference with these is that I needed to set the angle of the blade to keep it fixed, whereas the spike balls were just hanging loosely to their chains, not rotating in any way. The final thing that I've added this week is some wall lights. You can see these here now added to the game. I tried using particles initially for the flames, but wasn't happy with the way that these looked, so I've instead drawn a 5 animation. They all have the same animation for now, but I will make a few different 5 animations at some point, so that the wall lights each look slightly different. So that's it for another devlog. Thanks for watching and please hit the subscribe button so you can follow my progress.